Hi, my name is Courtney and I am your registered dietitian. I first just wanted to say thank you for coming to this appointment. I know that your doctor had recommended that you come to a nutrition counseling session, and whether or not you want to be here, I hope that we can just take the time to get to know each other and um, maybe we can even learn about a little something from each other as well. One of the things, again, I just wanted to say is that um, there may be a lot of information that you receive since your doctor's appointment, whether it be about food or medication or other forms of therapy, and it can all be overwhelming. So I will provide you with my business card and which has my phone number and email on it, and that way, if you have any questions, you can just reach out to me because I don't expect you to remember everything all at once. But one of the things that we'll discuss today is how to create your plate when choosing your meals, because food can have an impact on your blood sugar levels, and that may be controlled. Blood sugar levels may be controlled by medication, but food also plays a role as well as physical activity. And in future sessions, maybe we can discuss that as well. But I just wanted to take the time to address one of these aspects, something that you can just take the time to soak up and just review and maybe even implement at home when you're ready. But as you can see, so this handout has some information on it, but I wanted to keep it fairly basic so that you're not inundated or flooded with all this information. And at any point in time during our session now, then you can ask questions, or if you're unclear about something, then we can definitely discuss that again. But this session today is focusing on choosing your foods and developing your plate so we can manage the blood sugar levels and keep them at a good range by the foods that we eat. So the first food group that you'll see, or the macronutrient group that you'll see bolded, is carbohydrates, and there are starchy and non-starchy, mostly relating to vegetables, but the carbohydrates in comparison to fat and protein raise your blood sugar levels higher, so it's good to keep those in control. For carbohydrates, there are starchy vegetables, which you can see include potatoes and lentils and beans and peas, as well as the ones you may be familiar with like cereal, rice, and bread. And then the non-starchy ones, vegetables, are salad greens, mushrooms, tomatoes, eggplant, cucumber, all the list goes on and on. And then in relation to protein and fat, we'll keep those fairly simple as well. But protein could include chicken, turkey, beef, fish, pork, anything like that. And then other examples of fat are oils, butter, nuts, seeds, and those sorts of foods. So now when we're creating our plate, it is good to have a combination plate, and that way instead of having just pieces of bread or a whole bowl of rice and cereal alone, the idea is that having a combination plate will slow the release of the sugar through your bloodstream, and so you won't have spikes that make your blood sugar raise up really high and then suddenly crash, so then you're tired. Because I had read that you, or had mentioned that you have periods of fatigue and such. So by having even keel blood sugar levels, then hopefully your energy will stabilize as well. And that's another thing that, actually, while I'm on that topic, is to benefits of changing the way that you formulate your plate or your meals may also have an impact on continuing to keep your blood sugar at fairly low levels or normal levels, because if it's too high all the time, then that could lead to other issues that impact your heart or your kidneys or your nerves and cause nerve pain. So we want to do our best to avoid all of those other health conditions. So the first thing we're going to do when we create our plate is divide the plate into half, so you can see that on the handout. And then we'll divide another or one of those halves into half as well. So then you should have 3 sections on that large plate, and then we can have a little section on the side, as you can see by the other little Mickey Mouse ear circle there. So in the large section, or the half of the plate, we're going to put our non-starchy vegetables. So that could be a salad, that could be sauteed green or mixed vegetables, like bell pepper, mushrooms, tomato, those sorts of things. And then in one of the quarters, that's where we'll put our starchy vegetables or the grains. So that could be a dinner roll, it could be sweet potato, and it could be a winter squash, or it could also be any of the grains like barley or farro, that's or quinoa, something like that. We could put a serving of that in the quarter of the plate. And then in the other quarter, you can see that will be our protein quarter section. So that could be your serving of fish or chicken or seared pork, and we could put that in the section there. And then the last thing is that we could have a section for fruit. We have raspberries, strawberries, and an apple there. The portion sizes will vary because I am sure that you've heard either pineapple or banana has a lot of sugar in it. But for now, just starting out, just having a small serving there, we can work on the specific portion sizes later. But right now we're just building the framework and getting the idea of how we can develop our plate. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that you don't need to keep your plate into these exact quarters, so you don't need to actually physically draw a line on your plate and then separate out your food, unless you don't like your food touching, because I know some people don't like to have their food touched. But you can have combination meals such as pizza or a sandwich. You can build a sandwich with a slice of bread and then layer in a cucumber and pickled peppers, even mushrooms for your vegetable layer, and then add in a grilled chicken breast on there to make your own sort of sandwich. But there's many ways that we can do that. What I'd like to do is, if you're willing, I would like to see you for a follow-up in 2 weeks, and then we can discuss your thoughts on how you've implemented these choose your plate strategies, if at all, because I know, as I mentioned before, there's a lot of information going on here and I don't expect you to get it right on the first go, but then that way we can work together to see how this may fit your lifestyle and if this is a strategy that you would like to pursue. But again, you have my contact information, and if you'd like, we can schedule that follow-up appointment so that we have that in the books to keep this conversation going. Thank you again for spending the time with me, and I hope to see you again soon.